Hi guys, it's Wendy with Ask the Landlady, and today I am talking timeshare. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at my Never Buy Timeshare tagline. You will find out all sorts of things about timeshare that you didn't know. And if you know somebody who wants to know more about it, or want to know something more about it, or you want to get rid of it, or you're just frazzled about this whole timeshare process, check out my book, super cheap on Amazon, Never Buy Timeshare. Will not steer you wrong. Also has some particular forms that might help you with some of the things like what we're talking about today, which is the timeshare inheritance trap. What happens to your kids when you're gone and your timeshare, right? So this is a topic that comes up consistently with people in my comment section and when I was doing my book and the surveys, which is, what happens when I die with this timeshare? And I think the answer is not what most people think, and it can have some serious financial consequences for your family after you're gone. So let's get into it. Let's first talk about that perpetual clause. Most timeshare contracts, especially your deeded ones, contain perpetual ownership language, right? So we have all these baby boomers right now. They're getting of that age where they gotta be worried that they might die. A lot of them bought these deeded products way back in the day, 20, 30, 40 years ago. And these contracts have that perpetuity, perpetual ownership clause in it, okay? And what it means is when you die, this timeshare passes on to the estate. Your heirs can inherit that timeshare, and with it, all the obligations that come with it, like maintenance fees, special assessments, all that type of thing. Now, your children do not have to accept an inheritance, but if the estate is not handled well or carefully, that timeshare obligation can create serious legal complications and credit impacts that could take years to resolve, okay? So when you go to your little timeshare talks, you want to get your $100, you go, free tickets, whatever, nice meal, whatever. The salespeople usually use this perpetual ownership as a selling point, as a great thing, as a good thing for you. You're creating a family vacation legacy for your children and your grandchildren for years to come. You die, they still go on vacation. They still have this fantastic vacation. They think all about you. They love it. They create this warm, fuzzy scenario of this perpetuity, perpetual. By the end of this video, I'll be able to say the word perpetuity, perpetual contract. They make it sound like it is fantastic. It is great for you. And what they're describing legally is a perpetual financial obligation that your family can't easily escape. I've spoken with a lot of adult children. They were shocked to find out that they had inherited this maintenance bill that they didn't know anything about. They didn't know that check that grandma was writing every year for this Myrtle Beach vacation they were all enjoying. They had no idea that it was now up to $2,200 a year, and they were not prepared for that. And in a lot of cases, resorts, they swoop in right before the state's even settled. They want those maintenance fees. They want those special assessments for the beach, whatever. So it's problematic, right? So what can your heirs do? Heirs generally have the right to disclaim an inheritance, right? This is America. You can say, oh, no, I don't want that, okay? But there's time limits, and there's a specific legal process that has to be followed precisely, and you're gonna have to check your state laws and where you're at and where your timeshare is at and follow that precisely. If the estate accepts that timeshare in any form or fashion, say you go on that vacation after grandma died, you've accepted that inheritance, right? You pay that maintenance bill because you're like, oh my gosh, all these bills, what do we do? And you just pay it. You've accepted that obligation, right? And then it's forever. So you want to be very careful about this before you use it or pay for it or anything like that. Now, some resorts do have a deed back program. They'll allow the owners of their estates to give the timeshare back to the developer. So I'm looking at your Marriott's, your big players. They have a product that they can still go out and sell. So they're like, sure, give it back. You're not going to get any money for it, but you'll be out of that financial obligation every year, which believe me, you want out of. I don't care if you like that Myrtle Beach vacation every year. Give it back, start new, rent it on Red Week, rent it in a different way. You're going to be better off in the long run. Trust me on this, okay? If you're concerned about it, you don't know, get my book. I will outline why other vacation scenarios are always going to win out over timeshare, okay? So this is all a conversation that you will need to have with an attorney before you die, right? Before we shuffle off this mortal coil, you want to know what to do. So kind of consider this scenario. You purchased your timeshare 20 years ago for, say, $15,000. The maintenance fee now is $2,000 a year. The resale market right now is going to give you zero, right? You're like, oh, I'm going to get nothing for this. I paid $15,000. Shouldn't it have gone up? No, it is worthless. So your children, say you get hit by a bus tomorrow, your children inherit this $2,000 a month obligation with no way to recoup any value. The resort doesn't want it back unless they can resell it, like I said, to another buyer. So your Marriott, your Disney Vacation Club, that kind of thing. So your family is trapped in a contract that they never signed, just because they have somehow inadvertently, through the process of going through your estate, accepted that timeshare ownership. So you don't want that. Take the steps now to talk to an attorney. Get out of if you're not using your timeshare anymore, get out of it now so you don't have to pass it on to your children and grandchildren. They don't want it. Trust me, they do not want it. And if not, if you're still using it, figure out a way that your heirs know exactly what to do when you die so they don't accept that into the estate and they disclaim it. And they can easily do that. They can go file some paperwork, probate court. They can do it on their own. I show you how to do it in this book, or get an attorney to do it. It'd be best money ever spent. Leave them a little money to take care of that issue, to tie up that loose end at the end, right? So here's what I'd like to know from you guys. Have you unexpectedly received a timeshare through the heir inheritance process? Tell me about it in the comments. I would love to hear, because you are not alone and there may be options for you. Share this video with anybody who has a timeshare, and aging parents, anybody who needs to know what to do now so they don't pass along this obligation. It becomes a vicious cycle. We're all passing around this bad product. And definitely pick up my book. It covers that exit strategy in detail. So again, this is something, it's one of those things nobody wants to talk about dying, right? But it's something that just, if you could make it easier for the next generation that is crying because you're gone and then they don't know what to do with this burden, take care of it now. Take care of it now. So again, I hope you learned something about timeshare. Again, never buy timeshare. Talk to me in the comments, and I hope you have a fantastic day.